It's the roommate tier list with a twist. Hey, how's it going, everybody? Today we're gonna be putting the Genshin characters in random pairs of 2 and seeing how they would be as roommates. Would they become best friends? Or would one of them end up dead and on the 6 o'clock news? Real quick, actually, we'll get into the tiers. I'll explain a bit. We have the perfect roommates, the ones who actually become friends. The chill roommates with no major issues. It might be a little messy from time to time, but it's all good. Then we have the complete opposites, but it somehow still works. I feel like this could apply to a lot of real world roommates, if you feel me. We have the barely talk, but still kind of get along. We have the would live off of Uber Eats, the insanely messy, and finally, would kill each other. So like always, we might add a tier or 2 as we go through the list, but without further ado, let's get on to our first pair. The first character! This is a positive sign for the rest of the tier list. Nah, Ito right off the bat. Wait. Bro, it's the first pair. Okay, so we have Ito and Hu Tao. Now, right off the bat, these two are gonna be besties without a doubt. I'm sure Hu Tao might weird out Ito a bit, especially since he's afraid of ghosts and stuff like that. But this is a situation where the energy is gonna dictate how everything goes. Because they're both so, like, eccentric, and they have, like, a childlike wonder to them. Oh, wait, I wanna see these two interact, and it kind of makes me sad because we probably never will. I need a Hu Tao goes to Inazuma little storyline now. Okay, I'm debating between putting them in perfect roommates become friends and insanely messy. I'm actually gonna put them in insanely messy just because of the whole ghost shtick with Hu Tao. Like, I'm sure they would still get along and everything, but there might be some moments where Ito's just like, stop it, you crazy ghost lady. And Hu Tao's like, what are you talking about? I'm not trying to give you a heart attack so you can buy one of my new coffins. No, I'm gonna put them here. I think they still would be friends, but they're gonna be insanely messy, without a doubt.
Next pair.
Yes, quick. Okay, never mind. I thought it was best girl. So we have the quiet Sleepo Beepo. Okay. Sayu's kind of a roommate that realistically would be pretty chill.
Huh.
Okay, so we have a bit of a canon pair here, kind of? Now, I know Sayu kind of works for the Kamisato estate, if I'm correct, or at least they have ties in with each other. So these two have for sure met a couple of times. Actually, did we see these two meet on screen? I don't really remember. But anyway, they're both pretty passive and quiet, and Ayaka 100% strikes me as a bit of a clean freak. Now, even though I'm sure she doesn't do much of her own cleaning because she's kind of rich, putting her in her own environment, like her own little crib, I'm sure she would definitely keep the place tidy. Yeah, because she's a good worker as well. And Ayaka would just be a nice roommate to have overall. I kind of like that. Then we have Sayu, who's a little lazy, probably not gonna do that much around the house. But at the same time, I don't think she's really gonna be messy, because most of the time she's just kind of sleeping the day away. Like, both of these roommates are good for their own respective reasons, and they would be super chill together. Yeah, are they perfect roommates, you think? I'm gonna say chill roommates with no major flaws. Yeah, because I'm sure Ayaka has a couple of things she's not gonna know how to do, but still, she's gonna be super open to learning, which I think is such a good thing. But yeah, Ayaka would carry this group a little bit, but Sayu wouldn't be that bad at all. Nah. My son! Zhao is such a quiet and a bit of an angy boy. Wait, I'm curious. Oh! Guys, Dottore is such a good addition to these lists. It's not even funny. I mean, never mind, it is funny. Okay, so you know what? I think Dottore is probably gonna be a really clean roommate because even though he's a bit of a mad scientist and a little cray-cray, I feel like he has all of his stuff really organized because he's also kind of professional, right? And Zhao, I feel like, is that roommate that you barely ever see, but when you pass by him every now and then, you probably just like nod your head to acknowledge his existence. Ooh. And Zhao would be a pretty cool guy to just play video games with at 2 a.m. Yeah, okay. With all that said though, this is a pretty obvious one. Yeah, I feel like Zhao just catches Dottore doing some human experimentation in his room, and he's just like, "Stop, you violated the law." Yes. And Dottore's like, "What are you gonna do about it?" And then they would just have like a whole death battle. But yeah, one of them would end up dead without a doubt. Now we have Zhang Dong. Oh! Okay, I was kind of hoping it would be Madam Ping, but okay, very interesting. So we have Ying'er and Zhang Dong, okay. For some reason, I feel like Ying'er is probably gonna constantly flirt with Zhang Dong, but is always getting shut down. Like Zhang Dong is like, "Madam, I'm trying to drink my osmanthus wine." And Ying'er is like, "You can drink some of my bodily fluid." I'm gonna stop right there. Besides for this being a little bit of a sitcom between these two, I think they would both be pretty good roommates because Ying'er is a shop owner, so I feel like her organization skills are probably pretty top tier. Yeah, and Zhang Dong is a very sophisticated man. I can't really imagine his living conditions to be really messy. Like, he'd be a bit of a clean freak as well. Ooh, wait, these two probably know each other now that I think about it. Because yeah, she's in Liyue, I just remembered that. And poor Timaeus over here is probably super stressed out that his girl is living with this stallion of a man. But this is a really simple one. I think they would be chill roommates who might have to establish boundaries from time to time, but there wouldn't be any major flaws with how the house is. So yeah, they'd be chill roommates for sure. We got Shen He. Why do I feel like the place is gonna turn into a greenhouse? Ooh, yeah. Nah, guys, I can't be the only one who thinks that these two are gonna be like the stoner roommates. Nah, 100%. Out of all the characters in this game, these two are the top two contestants in terms of who I think would smoke the Naku Kush. Yeah, and Kazuzu is not gonna have any issue with this place being a greenhouse. In fact, he would probably help, like, turn this greenhouse into, like, a flower shop. Like, you know those homes that get turned into little, like, stores? I feel like this is what might happen. Anyway, in terms of them getting along, I feel like they would be super chill with each other. Yeah, they're both very softly spoken. The only issue is that Shenhe might not understand the way Kazuzu speaks from time to time. Because a lot of the time he speaks in like riddles and poetry, and she's super blunt, so that might be the only issue there. But at the same time, I feel like their room is probably gonna be really damn messy. Yeah. Like, Shenhe is probably gonna sleep in, like, a hammock made out of, like, flowers. And Kazuzu probably sleeps on, like, the floor or something. Maybe they sold the couch for more inventory of flowers. I don't know. This is turning into a bit of a fanfic. But yeah, they would be insanely messy, but they would still get along. But yeah. Jean. A lot of house mother energy from this woman. Or working mother, because she's probably never going to be home. Ooh, this is very interesting. Okay. So we have Yelan and Jean? Huh. Okay, so this is how I think they're gonna go. I feel like Yelan's the type who's never really home. She's either out gambling, out on a one-night stand or something like that. And Jean is also probably never home because she's super busy. I feel like this is the duo that only really goes home to sleep. Yeah, so they would probably barely ever meet up, but when they do, I feel like they would get along pretty well. Yeah, they're both really to the point kind of women. And Jean is a little similar to Ningguang, except I think Ningguang's a little more up there in terms of running things, to say the least. But either way, their place is gonna be super clean. I think we're actually just gonna leave them right here because they're barely ever gonna talk, but they're still gonna get along really well. Yeah. Next, we have the Coco Fish. She seems like a very organized roommate. Ooh. So these two, I feel like are gonna play to their strengths, and they're probably gonna be pretty top tier as roommates. Yeah. Because Zhengling is an insanely good cook, but at the same time, I feel like she's probably pretty messy. And Coco Fish is probably a bit of a clean freak, so they both kind of play to their strengths. Like, yes, Coco Fish would be cleaning up after Zhengling a lot, but it's not like Zhengling's doing nothing around the house. So I think they both would respect the roles that they have to play. Or at least Kokomi, because Zhengling's a little young and peppy. Like maybe she barely spends time at home because she's always going out with Jingcho, Hu Tao, and Chung Yun. Yes. Then again, Kokomi would also probably barely be home because she's a busy fish woman. But either way, these two would get along just fine. And I'm kind of tempted to put them in perfect. Yeah, it might be a bit debatable that they're not 100% the best, but at least from the characters we've gotten so far, I like this dynamic of they both have their respective fields of expertise in a situation like this. Yeah, the next pair. Why do I feel like Kaya is the type to just bring a bunch of random people home? Okay. Ooh, hold up. What the Very interesting. So we have Kaya and Layla. Now, right off the bat, they're both complete opposites without a doubt. Maybe if it was Sleepo Layla, she'd probably get along with Kaya really well. But just standard Layla, I don't think it would be weird because I feel like if they're both just chilling in the living room vibing, I feel like even if they're not talking and it's really quiet, it's not gonna be awkward silence. Like it would be almost comforting, if you feel me. But anyway, Layla strikes me as the girl who's just mostly always in her room, just studying. Maybe every now and then she goes to the kitchen to grab a snack and runs into Kaya, and he's just like, "Sup?" And she's like, "Hi." And that's the extent of their conversation. Yeah, I could see that. And even though Kaya is probably bringing a lot of people to the house, for business transactions, if you will, because he's a bit of an informant kind of guy, Layla's not even gonna notice because she's in her room. Yeah, and I don't think the place is gonna be super messy. The only messy spot is gonna be in Layla's room, where there's probably books scattered all over the place. But in terms of like what the public could see, yeah, it'd probably be pretty neat. And Kaya would probably do more of the chores, which is something I never thought I would say. I'm just gonna put them in complete opposites. Yeah, because they're literally the exact opposites, and I think they would kind of go well together. The fact that Layla stays in her room most of the time is kind of a really good thing for someone like Kaya.
Next pair.
Mama Ningguang, she's probably never gonna be home. Bro, are you serious? Again? Guys, the wheel is trying to tell us something right now. So we have Ningguang and Tartaglia. Now, if you saw the last tier list we did with the wheel, these two were partners there as well. Like, is this kind of becoming a ship? Is that happening right now? Anyway, in terms of how these two would interact and get along, like I mentioned in the past, it all depends on if Ningguang knows what Tartaglia did, like in the whole Liyue War. If she doesn't know he was associated with that, I think they would get along super well because they're both very social and rich people. Yeah. With that said as well, they're, like I mentioned, never gonna be home because Ningguang is like doing her prime minister-like duties. And Tartaglia's busy out killing everything in sight. Like they have priorities, guys. I think the only reason that their place wouldn't be a mess is because they're both never home. Ningguang is probably a little more on the cleaner side because she just seems like a very organized woman, like for sure. And yeah, this is a very simple ship. I mean, pair. We're gonna put them in... I'm gonna put them in chill roommates with no super major flaws. Like, even though Tartaglia might be a little messy, the mess wouldn't really be apparent because he's never really home, like I mentioned. Yeah, I kind of like these two, like, a lot now. It's Tiggy Cakes, ya boy! So we have Tiggy Cakes and Paimon. Now, obviously, Paimon has met every single character, but when it comes to living together, yeah, this isn't gonna work. Bro, Tiggy seems like the guy who has, like, the house rules. And if you don't follow his house rules, he's gonna just kick you out or get you evicted, something along those lines. And at the same time, he's also really sassy. And Paimon is also really sassy. Like, maybe if they didn't live together and just met each other on the occasion, they would get along for sure. But when it comes to spending all your time in the same environment, no. Paimon is that girl who is leaving all of the dirty dishes, and Tignari is getting so fed up with her at this point. And Paimon would probably give him some back sass. Nah, one of these two is gonna end up dead. Tiggy is kind of a bit of a perfect roommate, except he might be a little too strict. But either way, they're gonna kill each other. We have Sucrose. Okay, interesting. Ooh. I kind of find this really wholesome. Like, these two interacting, isn't that kind of precious? So Sucrose and Kave are both really wholesome individuals, but at the same time, they're kind of opposites. Like, Sucrose is the quiet, probably stays in her room all the time, wholesome cinnamon bun, and Kave is the outgoing, probably goes to check up on her every now and then, wholesome guy. But with that said, Kave is 100% carrying this, like, dynamic they have going on. Yeah, because he's the organized one. Like, even though he's an architect and has some supplies that he might leave around the house, he's also the one that keeps Alhaitham's house pretty damn organized. So he would do the same here. Meanwhile, Sucrose seems like an insanely messy person who just kind of leaves lab equipment everywhere. Like, there would be just test tubes in the hallways, and Kave just occasionally slips and falls down on them because he's an unlucky boy, no. So with all of that said, I'm gonna put them in... Ooh, this is tricky. They're definitely not perfect. I'm gonna put them in opposites in the sense that Kave is really social and Sucrose isn't social. No. So they're the opposites when it comes to speaking, but they have a similar kindness to them. But we're gonna leave them there. Yeah.
Next pair.
Next we have Beidou. She seems like such a fun roommate.
Wait, let's see.
No. Okay, that can kind of work. So we have Beto and Lisa. There's Lisa. Now, for some reason, I can kind of see these two becoming really good friends, and I can't really explain why. Now, I know Lisa has a bit of a thing for wholesome and just cinnamon bun-like characters, and Beto's not really a cinnamon bun. But I feel like they would have a lot of very interesting conversations because they're both from different walks of life, which I adore. So with that in mind, Lisa is 100% gonna be the super clean one who also probably cooks, and Beto is like that husband who gets home after a day on the crux and is like, honey, I'm home, and she has like a 6-pack in hand. Why can I see this as a married couple? I'm sorry, Gene. Yeah, so they're just complete opposites, and Lisa probably doesn't mind that Beto's messy because she knows that Beto works really hard and has a lot on her plate. And since they're also friends, yeah, this would work out. They're gonna be complete opposites, but it would be a good time. I kind of want to see these two interact now. It's my girl, it's my cat girl. She's not out yet, but I love her. She's like my second favorite character. Oh my god, no, Faruzan, okay. Faruzan and Kirarara. This is very interesting. Why do I feel like these two are gonna be the most talkative people in the world? Yeah, ooh, and they're both also like really old, aren't they? I know we don't have confirmation on Kirarara's age, but she's like a yokai, so she's probably older than the cat-like appearance leads her out to be. So I feel like they would have really cultured conversations. I want to see these two meet up so bad. I keep saying that for so many pairs. Anyway, in terms of roommates, I feel like Kirarara is a bit messy. Like, she seems like a bit of a messy cat. And Faruzan? Would she be a clean woman? I'm not sure. I'm gonna say probably insanely messy, just because Faruzan gives me vibes of that girl who has like books and a bunch of different equipment scattered around her like living quarters. And Kirarara probably just has a bunch of Amazon packages lying all over the house. Yeah. Either way, I feel like they would be super good friends, but just, it would be a relatively messy living environment. Yeah. Canonically, I feel like this is probably the best roommate to have. Yeah. Oh my god. Oh. All right, so Dory and Toma. Ooh, wait. I was gonna say Dory's probably insanely messy because she just looks like a messy person, and she probably has a bunch of different stuff she's selling lying around the house. But at the same time, she's pretty professional and is good at making getaways. So I feel like she's probably organized in the event that she might get evicted for any sort of reason. I don't know why. She seems like she'd be well prepared for anything. And Toma is just a star in this situation. Like, he might be a bit too social for a couple of different people to have as a roommate, but nah, he's the type that like knocks on your door and Dory's like organizing all of the stuff she's trying to sell, and she's like, yeah, what's up? And he's like, I brought you some food. Yes! Classic husbando Toma, taking care of literally everybody. Now, are they perfect roommates? I'm not sure, because I don't think Dory would be a perfect roommate by any means. Like, she'd probably have just random people coming in and out of the house to like make transactions with. So I'm just gonna put them in chill roommates with no major flaws, just because Toma is here. Like, if he was alone, 100% he would be at the top, but since he's with Dory, we're gonna put him there. Next, we have Canonical, crack addict fortune teller Mona. Yes! 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 Perfect! Canon! We have our canon! 100% besties group! Now, you know what? I don't care if the place is gonna become a complete disaster. Like, I'm sure Fischl probably isn't the most organized person, and probably neither is Mona. But they're already best friends, guys. Like, come on. Now, here's the thing. If they're both equally messy, they're not gonna care how messy the other one is. I'm trying to find a justification to put them at the top, and we're keeping them there. This is one of my favorite dynamics in the entire game. Seeing someone like Mona interact with someone like Fischl is always just, it puts a smile on my face, guys. Now, if they were standalone roommates, of course they wouldn't be at the top. But since they're a duo, nah, they're perfect. Perfect for each other! Hey, what's up, Nilu? How you doing, girl? I like Nilu. She's probably pretty clean. Huh. I swear, every character Xingqiu gets paired with is always like kind of weird to think about. So Nilu and Xingqiu, I don't know why, but this kind of gives me like sibling energy, right? Like, does it kinda? Like, Nilu's the kind older sister, and Xingqiu's like the adventurous younger brother. So I think it would be a really wholesome dynamic for sure. In terms of roommates, I think these two are pretty top tier actually, yeah. Because Xingqiu's a super rich, sophisticated boy that even though he probably has servants, I feel like he's still pretty well kept and organizes his stuff really well. And Nilu's kind of the same and also the opposite. Basically, she's not rich, like at all, but she's still gonna be super well kept. And I feel like they can both cook and be pretty chill with that. I can't really find any flaws with this. This is kind of perfect, guys. Yeah, I think they would be friends as well. Maybe they stay up late sometimes playing video games, watching just YouTube videos. I can kind of see these two doing that, yeah. And they both have a very high, like, moral code. So they'd get along perfectly. Yeah, I like that. It's a random duo, but it's kind of wholesome. What's good, Eula, baby girl? How you doing? Hey, another, ooh. Finally, Mika gets paired with someone who he can actually have like decent interactions with. I'm sorry guys, I just know nothing about Mika. This guy needs a hangout so badly. But anyway, so Eula and Mika, both from the Reconnaissance Corps. Now, obviously, since they're part of like the knights in a scenario like this, they're definitely gonna know how to cook and take care of themselves. I'm just kind of wondering, do you guys feel like Eula is a bit on the messy side? Because Mika, I don't think he is. I feel like he's a very clean and well-kept boy, but I'm not gonna say Eula's that messy, no. I feel like she's just super busy, that she forgets to like put things away sometimes, but Mika just kind of swoops in, kind of looks after big sis over here. And yeah, I feel like Eula is one of those characters that Mika is super comfortable with, and that makes me really happy. Then again, maybe having your boss at home with you, like all the time, might be a bit intimidating, but it's fine, okay guys? So I'm just gonna put them in perfect roommates. I can't really find any flaws with these two, and I think it would be a good time, yeah. It's our boy Goro, it's Goro. Aww. Aww, that's adorable. Goro and Chi-Chi. God, why do I feel like Goro is gonna have such must protect energy when around Chi-Chi? It's kind of precious. So them interacting, I think, is gonna be straight up adorable. I can definitely see Goro being super overprotective with Chi-Chi. And Chi-Chi is just gonna have that same like vibe with everybody, except for maybe Hu Tao. But they would interact just fine. In terms of how organized the house would be, Chi-Chi is kind of like the organizer of Boo Boo Pharmacy. So I feel like she's probably gonna be a bit of the housekeeper in a scenario like this. Yeah. And maybe Goro would like cook meals for her. No! God, it's such a wholesome dynamic, I can't. Should we just put them in perfect roommates as well? I feel like we're having too many perfect pairs at this point, but I'm gonna put them there because I just love this dynamic so much. It's too good. We already know firsthand how this man is. I wasn't expecting to be getting so many duplicate pairs, guys. No, the wheel is like forcing some characters together. So Alhaitham is a bit of the messy and uncaring lad, while Aether is probably like your average Joe roommate. Wait, no. Aether's gonna be super messy because he's basically like a hoarder at this point. Yeah, his inventory would just be scattered around the entire house. And it would be just like impossible to walk around. But at the same time, they're both probably rarely home. Like they don't spend that much time there. But either way, it's gonna be insanely messy. Shit, Alhaitham and Aether, oui oui. Le prochain groupe. Why do I feel like Razor is gonna be inviting raccoons into his house? Aww, wait, I love that. Oh god, there's so many cool pairs. Razor and Sarah, I love this so much. Ooh. So Sarah 100% could be like a guardian figure for someone like Razor. Yeah. She would be like a strict older sister. Guys, we keep bringing up like the older sister vibes. Like, I feel like this is saying something. But anyway, so Razor's gonna be bringing animals in the house, being super messy, but under Sarah's watchful eye, he would straighten himself out. Yeah, and since he's Electro as well, she would know that Razor got A's blessing to receive a vision. Yeah. And that would just add more respect points there. Nah, and I feel like Razor at first probably wouldn't like Sarah that much, but after a while, he would like warm up to her and they would be almost like family. It would be really nice. I'm gonna put them actually in complete opposites because they're from completely different walks of life, but they would just come together in this kind of environment and get along really well. Yeah. Next we have Cushing. Okay, very interesting. Ooh, that's a duo I just never crossed my mind, like half of the duos on this list. These two, I think, are gonna be pretty good friends. Yeah, they're definitely kind of opposites in the sense that Cushing is like really strict cat and Amber is really carefree girl, but at the same time, they have like a similar purpose in what they do. Like they both just want to help people. That's their primary objective, so they're gonna have a mutual respect for each other. Yeah, even though Cushing might occasionally argue with Amber because she forgot to do the dishes, I don't think it's ever gonna be that bad. Like it would be like a little slap on the wrist for Amber. And every now and then, I can imagine these two having like a girls' movie night in the living room. Yeah! Cushing invites Ganyu, Amber invites Eula. It would just be a really nice time. Oh, I love that! With all that said, let's put them in... Yeah, I'm gonna put them in opposites. Debatably, they could go higher, but they're very different from each other in terms of like core personality traits. So I'm gonna put them there. Yeah. Next, we have Monsieur Dainsliff. Okay, he seems like he probably wouldn't be home that often, but okay. The house is gonna get burned down. So this dynamic in my head is kind of cursed a little bit. I don't know. I feel like Dainsleif isn't gonna be super like okay with Benny in a scenario like this because he's probably never home, and the occasional time where he decides to come back, he just sees the place is a complete disaster, or worse, it's burned down. Like, Benny is probably living off of Uber Eats while Dainsleif is away, and there's just like wrappers and just stuff all over the place. Like, I don't know. I feel like since he's an adventurer, he's probably gonna have a lot of random things around the house, and Dainsleif does not approve of the mess, even though he's never really there to clean it to begin with. But either way, do you think Dainsleif might also live off of Uber Eats? You know what? I think it's a funny thing to picture, so I'm gonna put them there. Yeah.
Next pair.
Yes, Queen! Best girl! God, Yoimiya would be such a fun roommate. Every tier list, I'm just simping for this girl at this point. Yes! 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 No, no, come on. A little more! A little more! First it was Hu Tao. Now it's Yoimiya. Girl, Klee's getting paired with all of her best friends. Or, you know what? I'm not even gonna say best friends. Older sister. 100%. Now, this place is gonna be a complete and utter disaster. It's gonna be so messy. But you know what? Neither of these two even care about the mess because they're equally messy and both just having a super duper fun time. Yes, I feel like Yoimiya is the type to invite a bunch of friends over because she's super social, and she just kind of brings little sister Klee into the living room to kind of vibe with everybody, because if someone likes Yoimiya, they're gonna like Klee as well, because they're so similar in terms of energy. Nah, they're perfect roommates, siblings, friends, whatever you want to call them. Yes, the place would be super unkept. There would be Uber Eats bags all over the damn place. I don't care though. They're perfect roommates. They don't care about the flaws. Next, we got Ganyu. She is probably the biggest clean freak on this entire list. Ooh, I think we finally found it, guys. A partner who Diona isn't gonna want to murder. Yes. So the only bit of bickering that I think would go on between these two is since Diona kind of just cares a lot about people, I feel like she'll tell Ganyu to stop constantly overworking herself. And she's probably trying to clean the house, and Diona's like, no, I'm cleaning. You've been working all day. Go relax on the couch. Yeah, Diona looking after her big adepted sister over here. And they're both gonna be super clean. Are they perfect? Yeah, they're just another perfect duo. God, so many of these dynamics are so good, guys. Next up, we have Barb. She's probably a top tier roommate. Nice. Okay. Guys, so many of these pairs are so good. So next we have Nahida and Barbara. Now, right off the bat, this is way too much wholesomeness. For one group, this is really adorable. Nahida's gonna be like the initiator of most conversations between these two. Yeah, because she's really curious. She'll probably ask how Barbara's day was, and it would be a really nice thing. Like these two in their pajamas, in the living room watching movies. It's kind of adorable a picture. So with all that said, I don't think either of them is messy. I think they both know how to cook, but we're just gonna put them in perfect roommates. They also become friends. Yes.
Next pair.
There better be no tomfoolery while Shinobu's running stuff.
Yes.
Guys, there's too many good pairs. Okay, wait. We need to fix something. I need to think about how to do this. Anyway, we'll do Kale and Shinobu first. Now, both of these two are super responsible individuals. Even though Kale's young and Tignari is like kind of the head honcho in her little area, Kale always puts in the effort when she needs to. Yeah. And I feel like she's the type to keep a very nice and organized environment to live in. And Shinobu, kind of the same. I feel like she's probably not going to be home that often because she's running after Ito. But I could still see this working out. Like, she comes home after a stressful day of dealing with the man, and she sees Kale just tidying things up, and Shinobu takes off the mask with a nice smile on her face, and it would just be a really nice, wholesome interaction. Yeah. You know what? I'm actually gonna put them in the perfect roommates again. Okay, so at the end, we're gonna make like a whole ranking of this entire list. Yes, okay. That seems like a fun thing.
Next pair.
Next, we have Candice. She is probably gonna be pretty good. God, another phenomenally interesting pair. Dude, there's so many good ones. So Rosaria and Candice, these two are gonna vibe so damn well. Yes. So, although they both radiate completely different forms of energy, like Rosaria gives off the piss off, don't talk to me kind of energy, while Candice gives off that wholesome motherly energy. Yes, I like it. But even though they seem like kind of complete opposites, they're probably gonna get along really well, which is kind of saying something because I feel like Rosaria would probably only vibe with about 10 people on this entire list, like in terms of roommates. And Candice is gonna be one of them, I think. Yeah. Now, weirdly enough, I feel like Rosaria might be a little bit messy. Like, she seems like the type who gets home after a couple of drinks at the bar and just throws her clothes on the floor and just gets comfortable, watches some TV on the couch. And then Candice walks in like, hey, how's your day? And they have a nice wholesome talk. So Candice, I feel like, even though she's super busy, is probably gonna be taking care of the house more. But with all that said, I'm still gonna put them in just complete opposites, but it still works out really well. Yeah, even though Candice would carry this a little bit, I think it would be a nice dynamic, for sure. It's Mr. Albedo. Okay. God, these two. Oh, these two right here, guys. Hazo and Albedo. Guys, this is too much rizziness. For one group, bro. Like, Albedo is subconsciously rizzy. Like, it's not his intention. He just naturally is. Meanwhile, as with Hazo, man is flirting with all of these older women over here. But aside from that, would they get along? Probably pretty well, yeah. I mean, Hazo's definitely a lot more energetic and loud when compared to Albedo. But Albedo is not like antisocial. He's just a quiet boy. With that said though, I feel like it's gonna be a pretty messy household. Ooh, wait, maybe not. Because Albedo, I was gonna say, is messy because he's an alchemist boy. But he does have his lab on Dragonspine, which we actually helped him clean, I believe. Okay, no, we'll leave him in insanely messy. I don't think it's gonna be like the worst thing in the world, like not as bad as some of these other pairs, but I think it would be a little messy. And Hazo's a detective. He's probably out and about most of the day as well. Probably doesn't have much time to clean. I'll leave them here. Probably like the cleanest group out of the messy people, but it wouldn't be like the most proper environment. Yeah. It's the man full of testosterone. Another one of those interactions I have no idea how to picture. So we have Yunjin and Timmy Cakes. So Timaeus, I feel like for some reason, could definitely be like one of Yunjin's biggest fans. Like maybe he goes to one of her performances and instantly becomes a simp for Yunjin. Apologies to Ying R over there. Actually, no. She's simping for Zhang Dong, so it's fair gay. In terms of how their living conditions would be, I feel like Timaeus, no offense to the swell lad, probably has a lot of time on his hands. Like, do you think? So I feel like he'd be the stay-at-home dude who like tidies up, does a bit of alchemy from time to time. I'm not gonna say he's messy because he's not that useless, guys. And just the fact that he gets to share the same living conditions as Yunjin, yeah, he'd probably be a pretty happy man. And Yunjin is probably like, I could help out if you want. And he's like, nonsense, my queen. I shall do all the cleaning. You just focus on your career. Plot twist, he becomes her manager. That's kind of funny to think about. But anyway, I'm just gonna put them in chill roommates with no major flaws. I don't think they're like perfect, but they're not that bad. Nah. It's the boy, it's the boy, it's the boy, it's my alcoholic best friend. No, Chonga. Let's go. Okay, safe. I got a little nervous for a second there. So we have Venti and Chung Yun. Huh. Okay, so personality-wise, they're the exact opposite. So Chung Yun is a very proper, well-kept, probably has a really nice and organized living condition, and he's also pretty quiet. Venti is loud, constantly out drinking, probably has 2 fridges full of booze in the house, and is leaving dirty dishes. But have you guys ever heard the saying, opposites attract? And this is kind of that, I feel. Now, Chung Yun is going to be carrying this for sure, but I feel like maybe Venti will bless him with a bit of good luck for the good karma boy, if you will. Yeah, because I feel like Chung Yun is like the younger brother taking care of their drunk god older brother, if you will. It's kind of funny to think about. But anyway, 100% carried by Chungus, but they're gonna be complete opposites, but it kind of works. If it was just Venti, insanely messy, but Chung Yun brings them up all the way to over here. Another pretty top tier roommate. I mean, kind of similar to Aether, which I kind of put him in messy now that I think about it. Oh God. Oh, we're safe. I think we're safe. Nah. So we have Yanfei and Lumin. Very interesting. Now, this gives me a lot of vibes, kind of similar to the Al-Haytham and Aether scenario, except it might not be that messy, but neither of these two are gonna be like frequenting their home. Like Lumin's out in the wilds exploring, while Yanfei probably spends a lot of time in the courtroom. But either way, I'm sure they go home every now and then. And in terms of how they would interact, like we already know, it's just the Traveler and Yanfei, kind of good friends. Yanfei's a really nice girl, although she might be a little strict with the house rules. She might be a bit of an enforcer in that department. But besides for that, I'm not gonna say they're completely messy. I'm just gonna put them in chill roommates with no super big flaws. Yeah, it might not be the most well-kept environment, but I don't think it's gonna be that bad. Nah. I just realized Skara and Raiden are both still on the list. Ooh, Dea seems like such a chill roommate. I like that. Okay. Sino, no, not Skara, not Skara, yeah. Ooh, wait, Sino and, okay. I'm still holding out on hope that Skara and Raiden are gonna get paired together. But anyway, Sino and Dea are already pretty good friends. We've seen them interact a lot. And even though they have really different vibes, I think their living conditions would be pretty good. But at the same time, the house is gonna be super dusty. Because Dea's a merc, so she probably rarely ever frequents like her own home, while Sino's the Matra. So he's also probably never home. Actually, should we put them in barely talk? I'm gonna say yeah. Even though they're both from Sumeru and we've seen them interact, I think if they live together, they're probably not gonna talk that much because they're both probably never home. So yeah, I think we're gonna put them there, but the place is gonna be clean. It's not gonna be that bad. It's just they wouldn't interact that much. Yes. The conniving fox lady. Okay. Aw, no. Miko, I swear, you better not corrupt someone as wholesome as Noelle. Ooh, no. Miko is gonna be the lazy roommate who gets Noelle to do literally all the chores and take care of the whole place. Although, then again, I feel like Noelle's gonna do that regardless. Like, she's gonna be like the top tier housekeeper and kind of a top tier roommate as well. I kind of wish she got paired with someone who would let her take a break, but it's fine. In terms of how they interact, I feel like Miko's still gonna be nice to Noelle. Maybe every now and then she'll bring like little thank you gifts for all of Noelle's hard work. Like she gives her a bunch of light novels. I think that would be cool. Plot twist, Noelle becomes a weeb. Besides for that, in terms of roommates, they're perfect in the sense that Noelle is a one-woman army when it comes to cleaning and cooking. But Yae Miko is kind of the opposite. So I'm just gonna put them in complete opposites, but it would kind of work out. Yeah. The manipulating fox would still get along with the wholesome maid. Oh god, wait, Scarra and Raiden are still there. All right, so we got our boy D-Luke. Paired up with Jin Yan. Okay. Right off the bat, why do I feel like D-Luke's gonna get annoyed with Jin Yan for making too much noise in the house? Grrr. Because Jin Yan seems like the girl who like soundproofs her room to make it so the guitar doesn't go through, but it's not enough. No matter how much you soundproof a room, it's still gonna seep through a little bit, and D-Luke probably has some really good ears. That whenever he frequents the home and hears Jin Yan playing the guitar when he's trying to sleep, yeah, they might occasionally squabble. I don't think they're gonna kill each other. It's not that bad, mind you. But I'm gonna say probably just wouldn't get along. I don't have a tier for that though. I know it's kind of just late in the game. But yeah, we're gonna add this tier for not getting along. I feel like Jin Yan is probably gonna think D-Luke's a bit of a party pooper, right? Like maybe she'll have a bunch of friends over. D-Luke comes home one day, sees the place a complete disaster, and is just like, yeah, funny dynamic though. I like this. Next pair. Okay, here we go. Here we go. So we got Raiden and, oh, we got a 1 in 6 chance for just chaos. Ooh. Yes! So obviously Scarra's probably gonna harbor a bit of resentment towards Raiden. You took everything from me. Raiden responds, I don't even know who you are. Yes. Now the place would be a complete disaster. They would 100% more than likely be ordering Uber Eats every other night. But when it comes down to it, I feel like Wanderer is probably gonna sneak into A's room in the middle of the night and potentially try to kill her. Although maybe not. You know what? He might not actually kill her because Nahida has broadened his horizons and made him a better person at this point. But still, I think the likelihood of a potential death happening in this household is at least over 50%. God, imagine how messy this house would be. Like, I feel like Scarra is probably the more organized out of the two, which is kind of saying a lot. But either way, they would potentially kill each other. Yes. I'm so happy we got that. That's so blessed and cursed.
It's the boy, Bijou!
I just started using this man and he coughs so freaking much, guys. Yeah, ooh, come on, Madam Ping, Madam Ping, Madam Ping. Let's go! We got a bit of a canon group over here because both of these two are from Liyue and they're both in not the best health anymore. I know Madam Ping can apparently go back into her Adeptus form, but they're still like the vets. They give me a lot of old soul vibes. So in terms of how they would get along, I feel like they would just talk about the young folks in the next generation, and it would just be like elderly friends catching up after a while, except they live in the same house. But even though they're both not like super fast on their feet, they're probably gonna have a really clean living environment. Yeah, like everything's gonna be well kept, but it might just be a little old feeling. Like it might feel like an old person house. I can kind of see that. So I'm just gonna put them in chill roommates with no major flaws. Maybe Baiju's a little messy, but I don't think it's gonna be that bad. Nah. And finally, we have Ayato, Yao Yao, and Aloy. It's gonna be a group of 3 because they're the last 3 characters. This is really a 3 corners of life kind of group, isn't it? So I feel like Ayato is definitely rarely gonna be home because he's a super busy businessman. Meanwhile, Xiao Yao is probably going to be home quite often, even though she occasionally visits Chi-Chi and is helping out random strangers. I think she's still going to be the cleaner and housekeeper of this group. And Aloy, I mean, she's just kind of there, I guess. Like she probably wouldn't be home that often because she prefers to be out in the wilds, but every now and then she decides to come home. Yeah, so with that in mind, I feel like they would all get along, but since they're all so far apart from each other, they're probably not gonna see each other very frequently. Nah, it'd be a relatively distant group, but Ayato and Yao Yao talking would still be a really nice, wholesome thing to picture. I kind of want to see that now. But yeah. Alright guys, so that was the roommates tier list. We just finished organizing all the respective tiers. So the best roommates, obviously Clean Yoimiya, second place Mon Official, third place Diona and Ganyu, because it's really growing on me for some reason. And then fourth we have Yulamika and etc. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I know a lot of people do the roommates tier list, so I kind of just wanted to get it out the way. But yeah, thanks for watching guys, take care and have a good one.
Thanks for watching, please sub, bye!